If you have ever had a prospect say, I love what you do, but I just can't afford it, this video is for you, okay? Maybe you are attracting dabblers, tire kickers, ghosters, the kind of people who say, can you give me a discount, or you cost too much, right? The kind of folks who ask a million questions, they want the moon, and then they disappear when it's time to pay, or they complain. Well, stick around. I'm gonna show you the 5 very best ways to turn what you're already doing in your business into something that people are willing to pay far more than what you're currently charging for. So if you're not already charging at least $3,000, $5,000, even $10,000 or more for your offer, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it by just tweaking how you position, but not necessarily adding a lot of extra time or deliverables to your plate. Because here's the truth. Pricing is not your problem. It's how your value is being perceived that is the issue. That's why you don't have to add more deliverables or promise to spend a lot of extra time with each client. You don't have to rebuild your offer from scratch, and you definitely do not want to lower your prices and compete on price. That is a race to the bottom. It's a race you do not want to win. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to stack the value of what you're already doing, how to highlight things that are probably in your offer now that give it more perceived value, so that charging $3,000, $5,000, or even $10,000 or more feels like a no-brainer to the right client. And that's the real secret here. We don't have to sell to everyone. We only need 5 clients a month at $10,000 a piece in order to make 50 grand a month, or 10 clients a month at 5,000 a piece to make 50 grand a month. What is your goal? And then work backwards on the math, because this is the exact same approach I used to go from where I was selling low ticket offers. I was working with way too many clients, attracting way too many headaches, way too many back end hurdles because of the high volume, but the low quality, to where I've now built a business where I serve premium clients who actually chase me. And if you like what I show you in this video, by the way, I do have a free masterclass that you can register for by clicking the link. It's probably going to be in the description below this video. And that masterclass will show you how to actually start attracting these premium buyers that I'm going to help you to charge more for in this video. So let's get into it. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how some people will say they can't afford your program, but somehow they've got the newest iPhone, or they've got a $70 Stanley tumbler, or maybe they've planned a Disney trip for next month? Well, I want to tell you probably the biggest shift I had in thinking about how people justify high ticket purchases, okay? People don't buy based on their bank account. They buy based on 3 different things: desire, belief, and vision. Okay, and I want to show you how this works, because in a separate business years ago, I used to work with a lot of middle class families, folks who generally didn't have a lot of extra money lying around, and yet they would drop $1,000 on a new flat screen TV, or they would rack up credit card debt for a boat, or take out $100,000 loans to send their kids to college. Were those, smart financial decisions? Maybe some of them, others maybe a little more debatable, but in their minds, they justified the cost. Why? Because the desire was strong or the belief was strong. So they might have thought, right, well, this TV makes my living room feel amazing, so the desire is there, I'll justify it. Or this college degree is going to help me to earn more later down the road. Or this boat will give our family memories, and that's priceless, or whatever. Well, that's the kind of psychology that allows people to justify spending higher ticket and allows you to charge higher ticket prices than what you are right now. So if you can trigger that same level of desire and belief for your offer, the pricing objections will melt away. And that's why I tell my clients all the time, pricing is not your problem. Positioning is. Okay, write that down if you want something to jot down. Because if your audience doesn't want it badly enough, if they don't, believe it'll work for them, if they don't see themselves using it, they are not going to buy no matter how cheap it is, okay? But when belief and vision and desire are all high, pricing then becomes irrelevant. It's not about price. It's about, like I said, perceived value and whether they see a future worth investing in. Now, here's the part most people completely overlook. So if you want to charge more, like I said, you don't have to add more stuff to your existing offer, and you certainly do not want to discount your existing price, and you don't want to trade more time for more dollars. What you want to do is just raise the perceived value of what's already there by tapping into 5 core principles. I call these the 5 value multipliers, and I'm going to break all 5 of them down for you right now. And I'll give you real world examples that show you real people, like people who don't necessarily have a ton of money laying around, justify paying more, okay? So the first thing people will spend more for, the first value multiplier, is speed, okay? People will always pay more to get a result faster. It's why families will drop hundreds extra at Disney World just to get the fast pass, right? Because time is priceless. So if you have a process that helps somebody skip the line or shortcut the learning curve or collapse timeframes, you need to highlight that. And if you don't, you could just add a small little bonus to your existing offer. So you could say something in your offer like, you won't have to spend 6 months figuring this out the hard way. When you work with me, I'll show you how to get there in 6 weeks or whatever. That one shift alone will be worth thousands of dollars to the right people. The kind of people who value their time more than money will pay for speed. The second value multiplier is simplicity, okay? People don't want more stuff. They don't want more steps. They don't want more deliverables. They want less friction. That's why people will pay a premium for Apple products, for example. Apple products certainly aren't the cheapest, but because they are perceived as being simpler to use, people will pay more. So if your program or service makes things easier or smoother or more streamlined, you need to call that out. For example, you could say, you're not going to have to juggle 5 different tools and Frankenstein a system together or write a single line of code when you work with me. You're not going to have to drown in tutorials. I'm going to give you this simple, streamlined process, blank, blank, and blank, right? Easy beats complex every single time. The third value multiplier is specialization, okay? A generalist will get general prices, right? Whereas a specialist gets paid like a surgeon. So if you can solve a specific problem for a specific type of client, your perceived value goes through the roof. This is why, like, a brain surgeon doesn't need to explain his fee. The stakes are high, and the client wants the best, not the cheapest. I found this one out years ago when I had a wedding photography business. When I positioned myself as the guy who would get them, I wouldn't miss the shots, I was an expert who specialized in weddings, I had people who would pay more for that specialty and for that certainty that I would get them the results they wanted. So if you have niched down or you have deep expertise in one area, lean into that, right? You can say, I don't help everyone, I work with this specific group, and that actually raises your perceived value instead of diminishing it. Number 4, customization, okay? Nobody wants cookie cutter solutions anymore, right? People will pay more when it feels tailored to them. It's why a custom suit, for example, costs so much more than what you would pay off the rack. It's the same material, but it's a different experience. So if your offer includes any level of personalization or support or feedback or even just the ability to ask you questions, that is not fluff. Do not gloss over that kind of stuff. That is value that the right people will pay premium prices for. And finally, number 5 is certainty. This one is huge because ultimately people aren't buying your process. They're buying confidence that it'll work, okay? Back to the wedding photography thing. The more weddings I got under my belt, the more certain they were that they'd have great pictures. It's why liposuction, for example, costs so much more than a gym membership. One of those is like, okay, I'm certain I'm gonna get the result I want. The other one's kind of a maybe. So you've gotta boost their belief really in 3 things. Number 1, that this works. Number 2, that it'll work for them. And number 3, that you can help people just like them to get results. And believe it or not, you don't have to actually have case studies or testimonials in order to do this. You don't actually, if you have a track record, use it, okay? Lean into it if you've got it. But honestly, I'm gonna show you on the free masterclass how to do this, even if you were starting a business from scratch and don't have clients yet, because I'll tell you, the number 1 way to establish authority and get prospects to believe that you can help them, even if you haven't landed a single client yet, is so dead simple. You're not even gonna believe it when I show you on the class how to do this. So make sure you register for that class if you haven't done so already. Make sure that you attend. And then here's the other good news as we finish up this video. As I explained earlier, you don't have to completely rebuild your product or your service or your offer. You don't need a giant value stack or a million deliverables to justify a higher price. Most of the time, it's just about highlighting what you already do in a better way. So let me show you what I mean. Maybe you already offer personalized support, but you've never framed it as customized help. You've never leaned into that. You've never really highlighted it. Well, that's a value multiplier that you're sitting on and you're not using. Or maybe your process is faster than most people, but you've never really explained that or showed it or positioned it as a speed to results type of thing. Well, that's a multiplier that you can charge more for if you just highlight it. So what I like to tell my clients is this: you don't necessarily need to change what you deliver, you need to change what you emphasize, okay? You're already doing good work. Let's just package that in a way that premium clients recognize and value. And the best way to do that is to stop promoting your deliverables and your features or the hours that you work with people, and instead start promoting, above all else, outcome and transformation, right? Focus on how you solve problems, right? And the end outcome and transformation and benefits that people will achieve when they work with you. When you do that, your perceived value goes way up. And then if you like weave in those 5 value multipliers we've talked about here, you are going to be so well positioned to charge more than what you are right now. I know, because like I said, for years, I was charging just a few $100 for my offers. And let me tell you, those were the longest, most exhausting sales cycles of my life. I was attracting tire kickers and dabblers and people who wanted the moon, but they didn't want to lift a finger. I'm sure you know the type, right? They will ghost you after asking 47 questions. They nitpick every detail. They want custom solutions on a Walmart budget. And it took me a while to figure this out, but honestly, it's almost like there's this inverse relationship between how much somebody pays and how big of a pain in the neck they are. The less they pay, it's like the bigger pain in the neck, and the more they want you to move heaven and earth for them. But the more they pay, it's like they're willing to do the work. You get testimonials. It creates this ripple effect. And once I positioned my offer the right way, really everything changed. The drama dropped. The excuses stopped. My clients got better results. I got testimonials, which I could then leverage for more premium clients because, folks were invested. And I made more money while actually doing less work and less hand-holding. And that's the part nobody talks about, because premium pricing, while yeah, it does help you to earn more, it also helps you to enjoy your business more and work fewer hours and actually have a lifestyle business instead of having a business where you just work to make a living. Because if you want to wake up excited to serve people who actually do the work, then you need to implement what I show you here, and you need to attend the free web class. So if you want to attract people who respect your time, people who won't flinch when you draw a boundary, or if you're stuck in that zone where every sale right now feels like you're dragging somebody uphill, this is totally fixable, okay? And it starts with how you position and price and present your offer. So, and then it continues with how you attract those people, which is what we'll cover on the webinar. So if any of this resonated with you, if you're tired of attracting excuse-making clients who waste your time, if you're done getting ghosted by people who love what you do, but they magically vanish when it's time to pay, and if you know you've got something valuable, but you just haven't cracked the code for how to consistently sell it at a premium price, then I want to make sure that you attend my Premium Pipeline Masterclass. It's totally free. You can register for it on the next page, and I'm going to walk you through the exact system that I've used and I've helped hundreds of other clients to use of my own to attract quality, consistent clients who enroll at high ticket prices without endless content, without pitching in the DMs, without chasing people, without running low ticket challenges that waste your time, without relying on referrals or Facebook roulette. And yes, it goes way deeper than obviously what I had time for in this 15-minute video, but I'm going to show you on that class, first of all, how to move people 80% of the way towards the sale on autopilot. I'll show you how to tap into a traffic source you're probably ignoring right now or you haven't used yet. I'm going to show you a simple 4-step system that you can set up literally in a matter of days, and how to do all of this without relying on the unpredictability of referrals or endless posting on social media. So if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, the link is in the description, probably below this video. It's somewhere around this video. It's totally free to attend. It's packed with value. And by the way, I am planning to do live Q&A at the end. So bring your questions. Show up live. Seriously, be there live, because that's where the real magic happens. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Click the button now and we'll see you on the registration page. And then after that, we'll see you on the live masterclass. Take care. Bye.